Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Dukden Dorje. Homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Sumo, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today are Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the IP reps in Sweden, Dharma Sister Judy, accountant to Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, producers from CTI TV Taiwan, Dharma Sister Rebecca Shiachi, the Voices from Heaven Choir Group, Dharma Sister Lin and Dharma Brother Gu, and all the dancers from the Sunny Line Dance Group, and Dr. Ryan Zhuang, good evening, everybody. How do you do? In Cantonese. This evening, we had the group practice of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, and we all know the fundamental vows of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. The first chapter is the Triyamtrasa Heaven on the transcendent power, and primarily talks about Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva went to the Triyamtrasa Heaven to give teaching to Queen Maya. Sakyamuni went to the heaven to give teaching to Queen Maya. And everybody listened to Sakyamuni Buddha's Dharma teaching. And at this heaven, Sakyamuni Buddha instructed Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva and entrusted Buddha Dharma to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva after Sakyamuni Buddha's parinirvana. So Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva has the lineage. So the Buddha entrusted the lineage to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. So there are many Buddhist elders would think that Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is different from Manjusri Bodhisattva or Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. Among all the Bodhisattvas, so Kuan Yin Bodhisattva has the most affinity with sentient beings, which means that she had delivered the most sentient beings. And Manjusri Bodhisattva is the wisest, and of the Avatamsaka Trinity, he is the first Dharma Prince. And Kwansin Pusa is the first Dharma Prince in the Pure Land Trinity. So Manjusri, Samantabhadra, Guan Yin, they're all Dharma Princes. So they are the 5 Dharma Princes of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. So Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva has 6 Siddhigarbhas, which is Siddhigarbhas of the heavens, Asura, human, hell, animals, and hungry ghost realms. That in each of the 6 rebirth realms, there are Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas. But it's very rare that people refer to him as a Dharma Prince, whether it is in the Avatamsaka realm or the Pure Land realm or the Vajrayana realm. He's not referred as a Dharma Prince. Why? But why Sakyamuni Buddha entrusted his lineage to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, which means that Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is the successor of the Buddha. Why? In the Buddhist world, the primary reason is of the 8 great bodhisattvas, only one bodhisattva is a monastic, an ordained monk. So Manjusri Bodhisattva, Samanta Bodhisattvas have hair. They are laity. Kuan Yin Bodhisattva also have hair. Maitreya Bodhisattva, he's the future Buddha, and he's also and Maitreya Bodhisattva also was not ordained. And then Vajrapani, Viskambi, only Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva appeared as an ordained monk. That's why Sakyamuni Buddha entrusted the lineage to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. And the key reason is because he was an ordained monk or a monastic. And this is the view or the opinion of the Buddhist world, not just mine. So, because Sakyamuni Buddha appeared as a monk. So, in the Triyamtasa heaven, Sakyamuni Buddha entrusted Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva to uphold the Buddha Dharma, and that he would be the successor of the Buddha. So everybody regards Siddhigarbha as really great. He had a great vow, and his vow was that he vowed not to become a Buddha until the hell is empty. So that's the triangular samaya. So if you practice Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, you also need to make the vow that you will not become a Buddha until the hell is empty. So who taught you the Siddhigarbha Dharma to you? That's the root guru. And so the guru taught you the Siddhigarbha deity yoga, and then the practitioner practiced the Siddhigarbha deity yoga. That's a samaya of this 3, the Trinity samaya. And the lineage root guru also had vowed that he will not become a Buddha unless hell is empty. Only when hell is empty that he vowed to become a Buddha. And Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva is my brother. He's also my yidam. And my 3 yidams are Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, Amitabha Buddha, and Golden Mother. And that was my vow. So the 3 yidams are always together with me. Golden Mother, Ksitigarbha, and Amitabha Buddha. They were my 3 personal deities. So Samaya is like that. They are always the threefold commitment, and you cannot break them. And Grandmaster transmit all the Dharma to all the practitioners. So Grandmaster, practitioner, and your personal deity. Between these 3, there is the Samaya that cannot be broken. Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva is great because he is the founder of the spirit world. But he's not necessarily just in the spirit world. That's why we refer to the 6 Ksitigarbhas, which mean in the heavenly realm there is a Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. In the Asura realm there is a Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. In the human realm there's a Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. And in the 3 lower realms too there are Bodhisattvas, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattvas. That's why they are referred as the 6 Ksitigarbhas. And he has many attendants too. And among them, and one of them was bestowed by Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva upon Grandmaster Lu. So that was Mahabala that was transmitted a couple of weeks ago. So that's why Mahabala is the protector of True Buddha School. And he's also the god for precepts. That's why I have been teaching a lot of precepts. There are a lot of Samaya. And in the past, we talked about the Samaya and the 5 corrections to the Dakini's deficiencies. What is that? Fixing Dakini's deficiencies. We can say there are 5 kinds of Dakinis. And what is correcting the deficiencies? So say if you breach or violate the Samaya, how do you repair the equality line of the Samaya? So if you break the Samaya, you need to correct it. And the mantra, the greatest mantra for correcting is the 100-syllable mantra of Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva's 100-syllable mantra is called the mantra for fixes or repair. And the 5 Dakinis So Dakinis endowed with a conch, with animals, with elephants, and Jun, and endowed with art. So there are dakinis. There are some dakinis that don't look very good, but most of them look very nice. Their symbols is that when they're born, their hair is curly. That's a very special sign. So that the hair is curly. If you don't pull it straight, the hair, that's the first sign of a dakini. And the second sign is very watery. So the eyes of a beautiful woman usually is very bright and intelligent, like watery. In this song, every day is a blue sky. We're talking about the eyes sweating, which means tear. So talking about the eyes watery, which means very bright and intelligent, not dry, not dry. There's an illness where your eyes are very dry, but dakini's eyes are very watery. And the eyebrows are not broken. And when they open their mouth, the breath is the fragrance of orchids. So dakinis don't have bad breath. So if you have bad breath, you have to pay attention. And there's a special sign that her teeth, there would be a little bit of protrusion at for the fangs. Those are the signs. I still not to talk about this. The breasts are upright and rather firm, so it will not drooping. Someone asked the doctor, "Where's your heart?" So it's below your left breast. That's where your heart is. She wanted to kill herself, so she shot at that area, and because she wanted to kill herself, and it turned out that that was her knee, because she was old, and so her breast was drooping all the way down to the knee. So for the elderly, the breast would droop. One time, Simu's mother went out with Simu, and Simu was embracing her, and she found something hard at her knee and asked her, "What is this?" And her mom replied, "Oh, that's my nipple." So it would droop. So there's some appearance like that for the breast. And above the navel, there are 3 vertical lines. And at the forehead, between the 2 brows, there is 1 line, very slight, very fine, that you need to observe. And then their hip areas are wide and not narrow, so wide. Oh, so no hair on their face. Which is also called white tiger. And their bodies would emit a kind of fragrance. So even when they sweat, they would smell fragrant. So for the ladies, we always call the sweet-smelling sweat, and for the man, it would be the foul sweat, because her whole body is fragrant. That's very special. That's the typical signs of Dakinis. Of course, there are some special cases too, for the special ones. So that's my introduction to the 5 kinds of Dakinis. And they also have Samayas. By becoming a Dakini, you have Samaya. In heavens, there are Dakinis. And in the human realm, there are also Dakinis. There are several Dakinis seated here, present here too. So what does it mean to the correction to the 5 Dakinis deficiencies? So of all these Dakinis points, of all the signs that were mentioned above, if you fulfill 4 or 5 of those signs, then you are considered a Dakini. But of course, if you comply to all the signs, then you're definitely a Dakini. But even if you only comply to 4 or 5 of the signs, you are also considered a Dakini. But if you have none of those, of course, you're definitely not a Dakini. So today we'll continue to talk about Lamdre. The path empowerment is divided into broad, middling, and brief. 3 types of empowerments. It is the primary form of the perfect, convenient Tantra, considered as the 4th level empowerment. I've talked about the broad, middling, and brief. Broad is like the development stages of Tantrayana, or the exposition on Bodhisattva path, that's broad exposition. And I often give this example that Mahaprajna Paramita Sutra is broad, and the middling one is the Diamond Sutra. And the brief or the essence would be the Heart Sutra. So for each of the Dharma, there are the broad, middling, and brief categories. You cannot say that the brief or the essence is not good, because the brief one is the most important quintessence. So Heart Sutra is the most important. That's the key formulas of the whole Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra. And the middling one is the Diamond Sutra. And the Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra is the broad one. So now you understand what the broad, middling, and brief types. The Mahamudra, resultant continuum, refers to the fruition of the attainment of the four kayas through the seed of the potential causal continuum and the water and nutrients provided in the path through continual practice and the transformation of the body, speech, mind, and qi, these four elements to become four bodies. So the fruitions of the four bodies. Primarily, one needs to apply the four empowerments and merge them into four kinds of cultivations. So this is talking about empowerment. So the Mahamudra, resultant continuum. So this means the Tantra or the scriptures for Mahamudra refers to the fruition of the attainment of the seed and the water and nutrients provided. So the seed, we have the seed of the Tathagata. However, you need to perform the Dharma practice. And the Dharma practice is the water, like watering the seed, fertilizing the seed so that the seed sprouts. And one of the members of the line dance group is called Toto. In Chinese means bean. Bean is a seed. To make it sprout, you have to water and fertilize it. So that's what it's talking about here. So what are the water and the fertilizer or nutrients? In order for the seed of Buddhahood to sprout, you need to rely on the methods of the spiritual cultivation. This is an analogy. The Tathagata Garbha, the seed or the bean, needs to sprout, to grow, to flower, and to bear fruit. And in order to do that, you need water and nutrients. And water and nutrients are the Mahamudra of spiritual cultivation, the methods of the Dharma practice, as the water and nutrients, in order for the seed of the Tathagata to grow, to sprout, to grow, to flower, bear flower and fruits. That's what it means in this piece. And it's divided into the spiritual cultivation of the body, speech, mind. So body, speech, and mind. So the body is mudra, the speech is the mantra, and the mind is the visualization. So tantric practice is like this. In order for the seed or for the bean to sprout, you need to practice the body, speech, mind, and qi, the air, these 4 elements to become the 4 bodies. So the physical body, the reward body, dharma body, and truth body. And primarily, one needs the 4 empowerments. The first empowerment to let you attain the physical body. The second level empowerment, which is the inner tantra, you can attain the reward body. And the third level empowerment, the secret empowerment, can let you transform to become dharma body. And the fourth level empowerment, the great perfection, you can become the truth body, which is the union of the 3 bodies. This is what this excerpt was talking about. So the base empowerment, the cultivation of the channels, the secret empowerment, merge into the cultivation of the channel seeds, the wisdom empowerment, merge into the cultivation of the nectar, and the 4th level empowerment, it merge into the cultivation of the qi. The first empowerment, or the base empowerment, enters into the cultivation of the channels, like in our visualization of the central channel. The lotus emitting light and the deity enters us through the central channel until it arrives on top of the lotus blossom, and the deity seated on the lotus blossom until you gain union with the deity. That's entering into the cultivation of the channels. That's the first empowerment. And the secret empowerment is the cultivation of the channel seeds. So that's qi, channels, and light drops entering into the channel. And wisdom empowerment merging into the cultivation of the nectar, like the body chakra, light drops, the cultivation of light drops, and the 4th empowerment, cultivation of the qi, to make qi fill the whole body and to transform qi into light. There are many meanings. Let me share some joke. At the psychiatric ward, in order to prevent the patients to escape, they built 100 layers of walls. That's incredible. Of course, maybe it doesn't exist, but this is just a joke. But there are 2 mentally disturbed patients that did not give up, and they still tried to escape. And they climb over walls, and they have climbed 30 walls, and A asks B, "Are you tired?" "No." And then when they reached the 60th wall, A asked B again, "Are you tired?" And B said no. And they continued. When they got to the 99th wall, A asked again, "Are you tired?" And B said, "Yeah, I'm really tired." "Well, because you're tired, let's go back and rest." You know, there were 100 walls, and you're already at the 99th, and you're tired, and you wanted to go back. So this is like Virupa. Lamdre was written by Virupa. And the Lamdre verses that Virupa wrote was at the beginning of his tantric practice. He was chanting mantra, that he already reached the 99th wall and only one left before he gained spiritual union. But he was very tired. And then he threw his chanting beads into the latrine and gave up on spiritual cultivation. And then Dakini appeared and told him, there are 100 layers of walls and you've reached 99th, and now you give up. So immediately he retrieved his chanting beads and cleansed it and sprayed perfume on it and continued. And eventually he gained yogic response with Dakini. So in our spiritual cultivation, we need perseverance, long-term commitment. You cannot break samaya halfway. So if you break the samaya, then you breach the samaya vows. Then immediately you need to re-purify yourself, and then you are still a spiritual cultivator. And the samaya is unbroken. The lineage root guru, practitioner, and the personal deity. The samaya between these three. Once before you gain response, then there would be the equal guidance samaya. And once you gain response, then the root guru and the personal deity and you would be in union. Then there will be the union of the three, the Trinity. So the root guru is in spiritual union, the yidam is in spiritual union, and you are in spiritual union. Once you gain spiritual union with this deity, it would be fast for you to gain spiritual union with other deities. Because your personal deity has many, like a Buddha and Buddha are interconnected. Once you gain spiritual union with one Buddha, it's the same as gaining spiritual union with all the Buddhas. Or you gain spiritual union with one Bodhisattva, one of the 8 great Bodhisattvas, then you gain spiritual union with all 8 great Bodhisattvas. Or you gain yogic response with one Arhat, then it's the same with the 500 Arhats. Or with one of the God at the center, for example, the Triyamtrasa heaven, and then around it 33 heavens, 32 heavens around it. So altogether 33 heavens. So 32 heavens surrounding the Triyamtamsa heaven. So once you gain spiritual response with the king of the Triyamtamsa heaven, the Jade Emperor, then you gain response, spiritual union with all the heavens, all 33 heavens. Say if you gain spiritual union with one Asura, you gain spiritual response with all the Asuras. And even lower, if you are connected or you're in spiritual union with the ghost, which is very easy, then you gain spiritual union with all the ghosts. Millions of ghosts are connected to you. Then you become the leader of the ghost. So if you are connected or in spiritual union with the 3 lower realms, like greed, anger, and ignorance. Ignorance is with the animal realms. You will enter into animal realms in the future. And anger or aggression, that would be with the snake. You're often lose temper, then you would be connected to animals that are often angry, or asuras. So if you often lose your temper, then you're connected with asuras. Or if you're greedy, very simple, then you are connected to hell. And the hungry ghost is with the aggression or anger. So greed, aggression, or delusion. So the same, that would be connected to hell, hungry ghosts, and animal realms. That's the concept of spiritual union or connection, yogic response. So once you gain spiritual response with ghosts, then you apply the methods of the ghosts. But the ghostly realm is not a simple matter, because ghosts can transform. Sometimes they become gods, sometimes become Matsu, sometimes they become Golden Mother or Amitabha Buddha, and you don't know that they are actually just ghosts, because you just look at the surface. But actually, your hearts and your minds are already in the ghostly realm, and you apply the methods of the ghosts. So like medium, most of the mediums are relying on the ghost, or Oja. The medium, they are mostly rely on ghosts or animal spirits. So that's the symptoms, the phenomena. So the spirit world is like whatever your character, personality, or habitual tendencies are, then you would connect to that ghost. If you're greedy, then you would be connected to hell. Aggression, you connect it to the hungry ghost. And ignorance or delusion, that would be to the animals, the flying animals or the fish. Went to the drugstore to buy a cold medicine, and there was a handsome guy wanted to buy life test, and the seller didn't understand, what is it that you want? And then he finally said that the pregnancy test. So it's like the life test. It sounds better. When you are connected with the ghosts, they will definitely not tell you that they are ghosts. In Taiwan, there are many people that say they have the spirits of Qigong, the Qigong Huofo, attaching to their bodies, and they drink wines in Cantonese or Yam Niao, drinking pee. Don't laugh. Japanese drink pee to cure illness that was created by the Japanese. They drink their own pee or urine, the middle part of your urination. And in Chinese medicine, it also exists. It's called returning dragon water. And in Cantonese, it's called drinking pee. But think about it. Of course, when Qigong living Buddha descends, then they start to drink. Actually, it's not Qigong Hofo. It's actually just a drunkard ghost. They always say they are great figures. They are Buddhas appearing as a Buddha, but actually it's just a ghost. You know, ghosts are very amazing. With one thought, they can go very far away. They have no bodies, they cannot be sick, and they can go through walls and enter into your house, even when you close all the doors. It's fun to be a ghost. That's why it's called the ghost ploy. Of course, they will not appear as the ghost. Like in that story, Liao Zai, about the flower skin. It's actually a ghost. But as soon as the ghost dawned on the skin, then it would become a beautiful lady. And when the scholars see a beautiful lady, it's like the prince and the princess are meeting, and they have a romance, and they're together at night, and the prince would cry out and be eaten up. And then she took off the skin, then she became a ghost. And then when she is going out, she would don the skin. Of course, she would put on makeup and cosmetics. So it doesn't matter what you see. They are not necessarily Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. Please remember. You know, the higher spiritual level you have, the more humble you are. It's a very famous proverb that the fuller the grain, the lower it would not. So the Siddha or Mahasiddha would be humble. But those without success, or when they have no attainments, they would be very arrogant. In the Bible, it was mentioned that the head of the angels was created by God. And when he wanted to surpass God, the head of the angels took all the angels to abandon God. And he is called Lucifer, which is also the demon or Mara. Because the head of the angels wanted to surpass God. So because of his arrogance, finally he took many of the angels to leave or to abandon God. So if in your spiritual cultivation you started to feel arrogant, then you would become Mara immediately. So you need to pay attention to this. So in spiritual cultivation, you can either attain Buddhahood directly in this lifetime or attain the realm of Mara directly. So God, the head of angels, and the sentient beings, this samaya, this linkage have been broken. So the angel, the head of the angels, had become the black angel. How come there's a joke like this? At the nightclub, a man got to know a lady and drinking together, and one day the lady shyly told the other man, "There's one part of my body that's very tight, do you know?" And the man was very excited. "And which part?" And the lady replied, "My pocket, my wallet." So the lady wanting money from the man. And the man replied, "Do you know there's a part of my body that's very hard?" And the lady was very shy and asked, "Which part?" And he replied, "My heart." So he didn't give any money to the lady. In Chinese, when your hands are tight, meaning you have no money. And the man said, "My heart is very hard." So the man was very smart. So they're equal. He's her equal. There was a lady that didn't put on any cosmetic and shopping with her husband. And they were very intimate, and she placed her head on his shoulder. And then the husband and wife went to the motel. And reminiscence on the sweet time. Typically, they can just be at home, but because of a sudden interest, they wanted to go to the motel. And then the wife, all of a sudden, the cell phone rang, and there was a line message. And it was her best friend. You know, your husband was going out with a really ugly woman, and now they went to the motel, and I have a picture taken. And now I'm watching over them right here. So they couldn't escape. So a Dakini will not be like that. Dakini is beautiful, very beautiful. Even without cosmetics, they're still beautiful. They are not man-made. So the makeup, the cosmetics these days are really incredible. You know, the eyes were like dead fish eyes. But once they put on cosmetics, all of a sudden they have big eyes and bright. And they had tiny fish before, and that fish was without light. But once they put on makeup, they could electrify people. But once they wash off the cosmetics, it's like seeing a grandma. Does this happen? Yes. Oh gosh. What a trick. After courting for a long time, it turned out to be an aged lady. Then they put on cosmetics, and went on a date with you, and then when they have no makeup on, like their eyes were lifeless. So not just cosmetics, makeups, and plastic surgeries are incredible now. So, like Hui Jin's figure, you should go to Korea. Then you would be able to see your waist. Now we can see your waist too. But if you go to Korea, then you would have slim waists. Of course, you are short, like Grandmaster. That my girlfriend gave me the high heel shoes. Otherwise, I'm also short. But you know, there's now you can extend your bone to become taller. Oh, the science is incredible these days. If I knew that, I would extend my bones when I was still young. So you can fix it. It's that like fixing the deficiencies. So you fix or correct them. So in Tantrayana, there's purification or repurification. If you're tainted or contaminated, then you can be depurified and returned to the original. A girlfriend went on a business trip, and she said that she bought a very sexy lingerie, and I told her, okay, give me a close-up photo. And the girlfriend asked, wearing it or taking it off? And the boyfriend said, taken off. And the next day, he received a photo of a sexy lingerie on a hanger, on a clothes hanger. So reading the scripture of this Lamdre cannot be misunderstood, like the Vajra verses were widely misunderstood. You cannot learn from reading the book. You need to rely on the explanation or elucidation of Grandmaster in order to do the practice. If you just do the practice from reading the book, that's not good. Especially without empowerment, no, that's not good. And without the explanation of the Guru, then you will not quite understand it. Like Lamdre, without the explanation of the Guru, you would not understand about the equal guidance or the later attainment or food and drink. Food and drink is also samaya. If you're a spiritual cultivator, as a spiritual cultivator, you need to eat. You cannot eat the leftover food that you made offering to ghosts. So food that you offered to ghosts are dirty. But if a spiritual cultivator eats that, it will not be beneficial. As a Hinayana practitioner, you don't take in food after lunchtime. So not eating after lunchtime, that would be a samaya. And if you eat after that, then you would break the samaya. So you need to abide by the precepts. You cannot fake it. And you cannot taint it. So if you make offering of food to the Buddhas, then you can eat it. And food offered to the Bodhisattva can be eaten. Food offered to the earth god, strictly speaking, should not be eaten. Although God is a fortune god, but for spiritual cultivators are about the same. But if you are a Mahasiddha, you should not take in food already offered to the gods. So, like for the lineage root guru, say our kitchen, if they keep the leftover from lunch for dinner, should not be offered to the lineage root guru, because any leftover food should not be given to the lineage root guru, but you can eat them. But for some cultivators with high spiritual level, should not eat that. So if you eat food or already offered to ghosts, then that would damage your own qi. So there is also a samaya for food and drink, for diet. So there are levels. Like Reverend Ming Yi, she often tasted. So would this taste work okay for Grandmaster? And then, so you should not taste it before Grandmaster. So you need to take a piece for yourself on the side. So, and then give it to Grandmaster. So she doesn't belong to the kitchen. She specializes in tasting, in just trying the food. So it's quite incredible that she can become this big, just tasting food. In the past, she was helping in the correspondence center, receiving the phone calls. And they thought, oh, the phone operator, because her voice is very sweet, so they always think that she must be a very beautiful lady, young lady. And then they come to check on her. And it's better not to see. And a lot of things are like that. It's better not to see. Even when the voice is nice, she doesn't necessarily look that nice. Let me tell another joke. When Lao Wang was young, he went to the fortune teller, and the fortune teller said that in your next life you will have lots of girlfriends. So he did not understand, but later on, when he expresses love to a girl that he really likes, and the girl would say, let's wait till next life. So that's why he has lots of girlfriends in his next life. So let me tell you, when you learn Lamdre, it's a matter of this life. that in this life, Grandmaster teaches Lamdre and you would learn it. But in the next life, you will encounter this kind of guru that would develop you, and you will continue your spiritual cultivation. That in this lifetime you have taken refuge in Grandmaster, and if you don't have attainment in this life, in the future, because you have planted the affinity with the Buddha, so in the future lives, as soon as you encounter a guru, you would want to take refuge and study Buddha Dharma. So the affinities exist. So you already have the affinity with the Buddha Dharma, but you don't have attainments in this lifetime. But in the future lifetimes, when you encounter Buddha Dharma, you would initiate, you would have the mind to study Buddha Dharma again. That's called affinity. So affinity is also a kind of samaya, guru, practitioner, and yidam. That's also samaya. Om Mani Padme Hum.